before pyramids rose above the desert, before pharaohs carved their names into eternity, before Egypt learned to write history in stone. Cities already existed, not camps, not villages, cities, with streets, laws, temples, accounting systems, and memory. Yet for thousands of years no one spoke of them, because these cities did not fit the story humanity told itself. This is not the story of Egypt. This is the story of what came before, the lost cities before the pharaohs. For generations, history books began the same way. Civilization began in Egypt, along the Nile, with kings and pyramids. It was clean, simple, comforting. But archaeology does not care about comfort. Beneath the sands of Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates, layers of earth told a different story. Cities older than Egypt, written systems older than hieroglyphs, urban planning older than dynasties, and no kings, only administrators. The first civilization did not rise with crowns. It rose with clay tablets. For more than 95% of human history, people moved. They followed animals, seasons, rain. Permanent settlement was dangerous. It invited disease, conflict, dependency, and yet someone chose to stay. In southern Mesopotamia, people stopped wandering before agriculture was fully perfected. They built permanent structures. They dug canals. They planned for years ahead. This decision changed the human species forever. But why here? And why then? Sumer was not a single city. It was a network. Uruk, Ur, Lagash, Eridu, each one independent, each one advanced, each one older than Egyptian dynasties. There was no empire, no pharaoh. Instead, there was organization. Temples managed grain, priests tracked seasons, workers were paid in rations. This was not primitive life. This was administration, humanity's first experiment in large-scale control. Uruk should not exist. By 3500 BC, it covered more land than any city on Earth. Tens of thousands lived there. Massive walls surrounded it. Districts were zoned. This required logistics, food surplus, labor coordination, timekeeping. There was no precedent, no gradual transition. Urbanization appeared almost suddenly, and historians still argue how this leap was possible. Writing did not begin with poetry. It began with accounting. Clay tablets, marks, tallies, grain in, grain out. The first writing system was not about gods or kings. It was about control. Who owed what? Who worked where? Who belonged? Civilization did not begin with stories. It began with bureaucracy. And once written memory existed, nothing could ever truly disappear again. Sumerian gods were not distant. They lived in cities, owned land, demanded labor. Temples were economic centers, not just spiritual ones. Unlike Egypt's divine kings, Sumerian rulers served the gods. Power flowed downward, not upward. This worldview shaped law, architecture, warfare, and it influenced civilizations that came much later, including Egypt. Sumer was not alone. Trade networks reached Anatolia, the Indus Valley, the Levant. Ideas traveled with goods. Administrative systems echoed outward. Egypt did not rise in isolation. It rose in a world already shaped by Sumerian innovation. This challenges the entire timeline we were taught. Sumer did not fall to invasion alone. Salinization ruined farmland. Canals failed. Cities declined. Climate shifted. Urban life proved fragile. What humans created first, they also learned they could lose, and the memory of Sumer slowly faded, until Egypt became the face of antiquity. The pyramids did not emerge from nothing. They were built on inherited ideas: urban planning, administration, labor control, sacred architecture, all tested first in the lost cities of Sumer. Before the pharaohs ruled, humanity already knew how to build worlds, and that knowledge never truly vanished. It was buried.